SmashFactor.
Ripping driver, going for it. Oh my goodness. How about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. Man, that is beyond long.
Look at this. He's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome everyone to episode 72 of the SmashFactor Travelers Championship Edition. Live from a beautiful sunny day in San Antonio, Texas. After what was an amazing U.S. Open, a night full of storms here in San Antonio, and a full Monday back to the grind for me. Excited to discuss what was U.S. Open. Laid down last night about 5 hours after it all ended, and did all my prep work and recapping. And we had about 70, 80, 90 mile an hour straight line winds hit us about 1 o'clock in the morning that made the night really, really long. So then it made Monday even longer than what it should. But everybody's safe, everybody's good. There's trampolines all over our neighborhood, shingles, and a little damage, but nothing. Everybody's safe. So that's a good part. Normally at this time, I'd introduce my co-host, Ruby and Bucks, but both are gone tonight. So I am going to go solo to get this knocked out. Bucks is on vacation with his beautiful wife in Arizona, I believe. So he escaped for the week. He got his course breakdown out this morning, and that is all you'll see of him till next Monday. He is out the rest of the week. My anniversary is actually tonight. I know some of you guys saw we went out to dinner and stuff Friday night. But after this, going to hang out, put the kids to bed, maybe have a drink, relax, reminisce on 13 years married with my beautiful wife, Rachel. Been together 18 years now, married 13. So going early for me tonight so I could hang out with her. Ruby obviously is on the Mountain West time, so it didn't work out. I didn't want to delay it anymore or not do it at all. So we decided to knock this out by myself tonight. We'll see how it goes. Bear with me if I stumble or whatever, but hopefully it goes well tonight. I think this is my second solo pod since we've been doing the SmashFactor, so we'll give it a whirl. The U.S. Open, very unique, weird, fun, joyous tournament for many reasons. High cut percentage. Everybody going into it, all of us, we thought. Every tout or industry expert, even the guys on TV. Everybody thought, -3, -4. I think Buck said going into this U.S. Open, only 15 guys ever in the previous 5 Pebble Beach had shot under par for the full tournament. That was obviously blown out of the water. Non-U.S. Open conditions, but what if it went the other way? What if how would everybody be ready if we had burnt up greens and the sun came out, yada, 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 would it make a difference? Aside from the prep work that the DFS world, betting world, all those kind of guys that get really frustrated or whatnot, spending, countless amount of hours prepping for what one term they thought would be, and it turns out a different way. You can get a little butthurt out there, but, I'd put how many hours I spend in this deal up against virtually anybody in the industry, and I didn't really care. Let's hindsight a little bit. Great tournament, tons of high scores and low scores. But I know it kind of seemed odd because everybody had the Tiger deal shoved in their face for a week on TV, that brutal scoring, but this because you had high, low scoring for winners. But when you look at it, it really wasn't that bad. The weekend leader was Woodland at 9 under. He finishes pretty strong Sunday to reach to 13 under. Brooks was 10, and that's it. Third, there was a tie for third, 4 or 5 guys at 7 under. And then it quickly drops off from there. And then you had guys that made the cut at +2, which wasn't too far off from what most people thought. I think I had a +4, +5, but it was a little bit high cut percentage, like 35%. When I say high cut percentage, I mean there's like 79 or something like that guys when it was T60. So that if it goes +1, like it's been a massive difference. So many guys at +2 got in right on the number. Literally one of the last. It came down to the last couple guys. Major Sweat Friday. That was fun. I mean, even though it was high scoring, it was still fun watching it. And you got to respect Pebble, right? It's a public course. They're not going to give up. I think I heard 60,000 rounds of golf or something in a year there. They're not going to sacrifice that as a public course to roll out them greens really tight and dry them out because the wind didn't pick up, or whatever. They, because the USGA ain't stroking them a check for that. They don't, they care, but it's part of the deal, right? And that was a part of the agreement when they came here. They said, if you come back, we're not going to let you tear up our greens because you cost us like millions of dollars on a public course. I know it's beautiful and it's expensive to play, but it is a public course. That's how they make their money, their revenue. Private course is a little different. The members can buy, they can handle a little bit different. And I don't know the private course would do any different, but we can't be too mad. Who gives a shit, right? It was a great tournament, great winner. Leaderboard was stacked still. It wasn't like it was a hocus pocus still. Woodland, Rose, Brooks, DJ's there, Rory's there, Tiger's there, in reach, at least top five. So, who cares at the end of the day? I thought it was great. This tournament, that place Pebble is relying upon, the wind and the sun and mainly the wind though. The wind because the sun because it dries it out some, and you had the marine layers that wasn't allowing it, but the wind didn't pick up. It was a little bit better scoring than what you could deal because it's one of the biggest, blockers for that course, protectors of the course, and didn't happen. Who cares? Move on. No one's going to give a shit next year. No one's going to care when you go to the next tournament. British Open, I don't think it ever is not when you're there, but, still British Open. If they get, pretty good weather, I think when Stinson and Lefty went at it toe to toe, I think they were like high minus 17, 18s, if I remember right. It wasn't like it was, they're battling out at 5 under. Do we give a shit? No, remember their battle on Sunday when they're throwing darts, left after right. So I didn't care. I thought it was great. I had a lot of respect for Woodland. I've obviously been on him several times. I was on him at TOC. This year when Xander goes 60 or 61 on Sunday to beat Woodland, Woodland's got the lead. I got a nice ticket on him, and he still shoots 65 or 66 and loses. You can't take nothing from that. Why I didn't hop on him then, when it looks like half the industry did, I have no idea. Or they don't know, because I know ill will against him. He didn't choke or anything like people kind of want to put on him. He played well, just Xander went off, right? Hot putter. No difference to Molinari later on in the year when he had the hot putter on Sunday, won that tournament. For me personally, betting, terrible. Lost 8 stars on the week. Still up 19 on the year, 29 on the 2018-19 season. Some close misses that sucked. Matsu I had for top 20 that I got live, I think Friday night or Saturday. Missed by 1. He got 21st. Hovland, I took him plus 400 on the round 1 3-ball against me and Brooks, and he actually beat Brooks. Lost to Molinari. Hindsight, I'd still take that bet. Looks like a great bet, right? He played well. Hit him 9-1 for the top 20. That kind of gave me a little bit of life on the week. That's golf betting, right? Ups and downs, total investment portfolio. Got a little crazy with the live outrights, and it was. I said in my final my wrap up this morning that's part of this tournament. When you have such a tight window with these guys, you can move from 20th to 5th in like 2 holes. And so I'll bet more outrights and stuff like this than I typically do. I don't do it a lot. There's not a lot of tournaments that I go, real heavy on the live, but this is British, I will if there's a big wave advantage. So a guy that's way back, and then the next morning gets to play great weather. I'll load up on a few guys I may not otherwise, because then they can close the gap in the afternoon type deal. Same deal. It's a big weather advantage type deal. I kind of regret it. I got a little carried away. I told the people that, the community that this morning, but all in all, it is what it is. We move on. Still up on the year, still up on the whole season. So, head on to the Travelers now. DK got 45% of my bankroll back, which Friday night I would have been very disappointed with. Sunday night I was actually pretty happy with. I had 17 of my 18 guys in my player pool. I did 5 lineups this week. Make the cut, which, everybody had a lot of people make the cut. Obviously, if you have 30, 35%, 6 of 6s, but still that's 94% of my pool made the cut. My best ever. I'm going to have a big pool. I have 100% before, but I was talking about 2 lineups or 3. 80% of my lineup, I had 4 out of 5 lineups, 6 of 6. But the guys that were scoring high shooting, landed on that +2 number, they just kept shooting high numbers on the weekend and really couldn't get it going. Guys I thought they could have good weekends, Snedeker, Fleetwood. I really thought that they would finish somewhat decent on the weekend. They just kept getting worse and worse and couldn't get it together. The main 3 I went with was Tiger, DJ, Cantley. I was okay with getting what I got back, being that none of them made a big move ever. Tiger finally loosened up about hole 8 or 9 Sunday and, played gray on the back 9. I think I sent this to someone. Let someone pay attention to moving forward. I don't know what's in the back. I know my back. I know when it's cold outside, it takes forever to loosen up. Surgery he's had. I do similar surgery. Not that bad, but I do need one. And I know when it's cold, the old football injuries start creeping up. And I wonder, because PGA wasn't warm either. We know we struggled there. Get here, it was, I want to say 85 Monday. I want to think he probably felt pretty good. And he did not look good at all Sunday, them first few holes. Every time he was walking, not that he was hurt. I just think whatever he deals with, I think one of the deals is getting loose, right? He even talked about it at the Masters when they had to tee off early because of the weather, that, he got up like 3:30 that morning to go through his whole routines, get loose. But just, humidity, it was humid, nice, decently warm morning. So he played well here. Once, I just think of myself, he got the whole 8 or 9, and man, that back 96 birdies after the first couple bogeys. So something to keep track of, especially with the British Open. We know can have some colder temperatures. That's going to factor in with me when I'm looking at his potential there for sure. Had some good showdown days, good articles, a lot of good feedback. Community had a pretty good weekend on the showdown, and overall had a really good weekend. We'll get that in a second. I was big on Hovland pre-tournament. Bucks was on Morikawa, as was I, but Bucks was more. So between those two, hit those well. It's going to be fun watching those guys, get their, pretty beginning of their PGA Tour, career. And then the stud Matt Wolff, Hovland's Okie State brother, joins him this week at Travelers. Get into that in a little bit. It's gonna be a fun week and then fun career watching these guys. You gotta have the next set. The other Spieth, JT, still in their 20s. I think Fowler may just turn 30, but now you got another set of 4 or 5 young studs out there that these aren't just. And I know me and Sambo's been part of the Panda crew. This isn't a Panda. Like these guys are real deal guys. These guys will all potentially be vying for a win in their first season by far. Hovland, he's already down to 50-1 tonight, which is crazy. But we talked about last week. I said I loved him. I've liked him for a while. Ready for him to get on the tour. Couldn't play pro last week because of technically deemed to be pro, try to qualify through a qualifier and then made money. But a guaranteed spot because of the US Am champ. And but if he turned pro, he can't play as the Am. So that's why I had some people ask me why he wasn't winning money yesterday, and that's the reason. So let's do a little shout out to our listeners. We had a great weekend. Jay Howder, 5 points won the Listener League. Had Rose, Scott, Molinari, Woodland, Stinson, and EVR. Very solid team, very solid scoring in this tournament. That's another thing. DK is pretty low for the most part. It's the big boys. The ones that won were kind of high up in the 5s, but there's a lot of high 4s, low 5s that were going to win some contests. Other at Rich, RK, RUZ, or SZYNA. Man, we were all cheering Rich on in the Slack. It was so much fun. That Slack was on fire. I missed the first part of it because, being with family, Father's Day, anniversary weekend, blah, blah, blah. Now I got most people in there did not have DirecTV. And if you don't know, DirecTV has for all the majors, and now even the last couple of years, they've been adding some of the premier tournaments as well. It used to just be the Masters only. Then it was all the majors. Now it's like the Players there. Arnie's tournament was in there. They have special golf channels, and they have like 4 or 5 other channels all covering the tournament as well as the main telecast. And they'll have like a featured group channel, featured holes channeled, and then another the practice tee or pressers at the end, whatever they want. Sometimes it has a shot tracker coverage. So as the guys are playing, you can look at the shot tracker information. But those channels are way ahead of the coverage on the TV. So as this was getting sweaty for a lot of guys, I was telling them what was going on. And I wouldn't, because people were like, where are you getting this from? Because, like, I don't remember what hole it was, but like Rory did something. I was like, man, Rory just made a bird. Like 8 minutes later, they showed it on TV, and these guys are like, how'd you know that? And I was like, well, I saw it I watched it live. And they're like, I was telling them. So I started doing the play-by-play for a while. And Rich was up to, I know he got to second in the Millie Maker. I don't know if he ever got to hit the first, but he finished sixth. Got to cheer on him the whole time. And what makes this even better, and this is what Gups Corner is all about, had $11 satellite that he won to get his ticket in there. And that's how he got in. That's how he played in the Millie Maker. Not 100% if he only played a bullet, but he didn't have many lineups if he didn't have more than the bullet. I'm fairly certain he had that one lineup and finished sixth in the Millie Maker, which is phenomenal. Scotty Man, 3,200 on DK. Ice T-Bag, 1,100 on DK. Chase, 1,100 on DK. Birdman, Suckers. Woodland outright. Hovland top 20 and 900 on DK. Another big wins. We got tons of them, so we just try to limit them down as much as we can. And, we give shout outs in the Slack and all that. People post them on Twitter, which is great. We love that. S2K, Diggy Birdie, Mike, H Funk, Todd Kinney, all great cashes this week. Our boy Tambo double bet the Woodland outright, not on purpose, but he so he had a big cash. Feinberg had a big cash. A lot of people had Woodland early in the year. They all took them around Christmas, January, stuff like that. I did not. I regret it. But it is what it is, right? You can't do nothing about it. I rooted for him at the end. Once I was trying to, Stinson was kind of my big hope. If DJ Stinson going in the morning, maybe Tiger. I didn't really think Tiger could, but DJ, I felt if I thought there was a 63 out there, and if he could hit it, he was going to finish way early, and 63 would have put him 10 under, maybe 9 or 10 under. I felt if he could post that and make it a little nervous, which I think if he posts 10 under and he's an hour ahead, I think he could basically get in a playoff with Woodland or Brooks or both. Hindsight, but whatever. Stinson got up, made a little charge. I took a each way Sunday morning. Had access on ROM at 100 to 1, and the each way was T3. So got that. It chopped the third. Not much money. It was for fun, but not a lot of sweat there. So once I just kind of decided, I was going for the community, which most were on Woodland. So I was excited to see him win. No issues with Woodland at all. Great guy. The story with Amy is tremendous. Story with his wife and losing one kid during the delivery, and the other one's still alive. And now find out during the tournament they're pregnant again with twins. They're doing a couple months. Just a tremendous story, and the perseverance that guy has gone through. You got nothing but respect for that guy. So as always, we're gonna get this kicked off. Roll right into what is a Travelers Championship. Our boy, Hat last year, he lives up there, works for Travelers, so he goes every year. Our show sponsor and affiliates. Download Thrive Fantasy app. We're right around the corner from football. We're going to have all kinds of promos with them. We're going to have segments on the pod. We're going to have content it's a prop, basically kind of like a player prop, pick 'em type strategy game, but contest and leagues and similar to DK or FanDuel like that, as far as, GPP type stuff, cash type stuff. You're going up against other guys. Right now you can get $10 free, no strings attached, with your first $20 deposit. It's limited time only. So get in there while you can. It's completely free. No rollover, none of that stuff that you get looped in. You put $10 in, you put $20 in, you get $10 free cash. I've seen people do it themselves, so it's 100% legit. I obviously got in too. There's no strings. It's awesome with those guys. Fanshare Sports. Get the Fanshare Sports Pro Advantage, all the ownership, in-depth tags. I've added on articles, brand new website. Devin and the guys over there do a great job. 20% off with the code GUP. FantasyNational.com/GUP. Get 20% off your next subscription there. those Franchise Sports Fantasy, and then obviously us, Cubs Corner. You sign up now and do the monthly. It gets you through the Wednesday of the Open. So you'll actually get 5 tournaments plus a major for a monthly subscription. Both those you get 20% off. Great deal. I'd go ahead and do the annual if you're going to do it. But if you want to give it a shot, do a month. I mean, it's pennies, per day. To 5 tournaments plus the last major of the year. So really give you a good leverage on, is this a tool I need going into the 2019-2020 season? Now's the time to do it. You won't get a better timing in the season to take advantage of it. As always, rate and review us on iTunes, Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube. Our YouTube jail time should be up by tonight. Obviously, it's not up live for the streaming, as you can tell, but we will post the video hopefully by tonight or tomorrow and then be live again next week. I will pick 3 people this week. You get entered by doing each one of those things. So you can get yourself entered 4 times if you do all 4 for our U.S. Open shirts that are absolutely hot fire. I'll announce the winners next Monday on the show, and we will ship them to you free of charge. Speaking of that, U.S. Open shirts on sale now. Limited supply left. The first 300 sold out. We rush shipped 100 extra. Those are selling quickly. I do believe we still have all sizes left, but we don't have many. So I'd get in now, get your shirt, gubscorner.com/store. You see them all over the internet. You see them all over the place. And the people that get it is like that, how dirt or quality and all that, and then they get it and you're kind of, man, it's kind of cheap. I can't believe the amount of people that get them. They're like, man, this shit is really nice. It really is. Like, it's real nice. And some bought second one, some will come back and buy the Masters. Like, it's legit. We're not ordering anymore. I can promise you that, because I'm the one that makes the call there. We're in works for our next shirt. We want these we're not going to roll these out every week or anything. We know that, I get some people, but this will be the end of the U.S. Open shirts. Master shirts are almost gone as well. Limited sizes there. I think we're down to 2 or 3 sizes left. So there's a combo pack that you can buy both and get a discount. So go to the website, check that out. You don't have to be a member to buy them. You can get on there and check them out, buy them now. We'll tell you, check out Fantasy GGM Podcast with our boy Tambo and Kenny Kim. They have a special surprise that I approved this weekend, dealing with some of the stuff I just said. Make sure you check them out if you are not a member yet. Course preview this week. Obviously, I'm going to do a terrible job of imitating Bucks. You get on the site. He did post his article for everybody to read and catch up on. TPC River Highlands is where we're at this week. Travelers Championship, I've already said. Par 70, 6,841 yard course. So it seems short, but it is a par 70, so it's not as bad as, we've had under 7,000 yard courses be, par 71, par 72 lately. So not terrible in length. Slightly smaller greens than normal. Nothing like Pebble, but they are smaller than the average. They're going to run a 12 and a half, maybe a 13 on the stimp, maybe depending on weather. Thick rough, kind of like we saw last week. Average winning score around -15. Average cut +1, +2. 8 par 4s, 400 to 450 yards. Only 2 par 5s. Both of them they're above 40% on the birdie or better rate. Get into that in a second on, do you weigh it heavily? But there's only 2 of them, but majority of the scoring comes for those. So it's always interesting when you have that scenario. Similar to last week's setup, right? Smaller greens, quick. They're not slow. Thick rough. Fairways are similarly, hard, easier to hit here, easier to hit. Last week they were easy if you use the right club. Big deal here. First time in a while, we are going to have to pay attention to weather. We got rain in the forecast Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, some sort. Some days bigger, some just scattered. Luckily, Phil's up there. He's actually working the tournament a little bit. So we'll be in touch with him, getting updates. I'll have updates on my article each night. And then obviously Wednesday night, there is a potential for a wave advantage here. And it could be big. So haven't had that in a while. Hadn't had to bring out a whole heat map on the weather, but I may have to do that this week. Weekend looks great. So that's a good thing. Solid, sunny. So we get through Friday afternoon. Don't have to worry about it. But obviously for us, making the cut's a big deal. So it could play havoc this week. If it's like all the other tournaments up there, it's played it's been wet, right? And so to hear more rain, you think thick, rough, soft. You think of Toronto and that, which this isn't by Toronto, same kind of area. That could play a factor as well. Is it going to be, if it get through the week, are they just going to go pin hunting on the weekend because everything's soft? It's I don't think real windy necessarily. I just think there's potential chance for rain. So not going to get too hyped on it right now because it's just way too far out. But it's something we will be monitoring this week. It is a legit concern. Contest selection strategy kind of introduced us last week and stick with it to an extent. I did do a Gup's first thoughts kind of article last week to go correlate, to the final thought. I think I may do that. I may do that in the morning. If I have time tonight, I will. But this is kind of in that area. So you got 150-ish players. I don't know if they're doing Monday qualifying this week or not. Top 70 in ties make the cut. The MDF is back in effect this week. So, about roughly half the field will make the cut. One thing I noticed on the pot sizes, and this happened last year too. I don't know if this is timing with basketball going away, hockey's gone away. So you got baseball and like maybe golf, really. And there's some, soccer or whatever, that the pots increased in golf. Last year I thought it was because we were gaining momentum. This year I'm like, about the same time I made notes it gained again. I'm like, all right, maybe it's because it's just like shit, no one's got nothing to do. So we're going to make some big pots and attract them. I think 150 up top in the $5. And also, but to our credit or to the community's credit, industry's credit, shit filled quick last week. There were some contests that got to even, they had the secondaries on Wednesday. Some got to third. They filled up the secondaries and threw a third out there. Showdowns filled nice. Golf was doing well last week. Now, it always does on a major. So that's to be noted. But, I think we're growing the game, which is great. Post major hangover. Are we going to deal with? This is pros and DK players, tired, stressed out, or not stressed out, just worn out from a long week. If you're a DK player, you're a DJ and you're in it. But the pros, I'll talk about it in a little bit, but like DJ, Brooks, I went back and look last year, and this tournament just happened to be after the same week, the US Open. He played right after Shinnecock, which I was surprised he did, and he got like 19. Now, that's not going to pay off his price this week, but it's not like he came out here and just hung out for 2 days and took it to the house. He competed top 20. So I don't. I'm on the side. I'm on the camp of I don't believe guys show up to compete. The rare side of that would be maybe a sponsorship deal where they just have to or something. But majority of guys, I don't think they. Because these guys in today's age, the amount of money they make, those elite guys we're talking about, these grinders out there, they're trying to make paychecks, living in chunks and stuff. They're there to win money, but these guys, they just won't play, right? They're going to get their, the only key now is you kind of got to pay attention to a guy that maybe he's trying to squeeze that tournament rule in where they have to play it every 4 years or whatnot. So they never played and they're making this stop. You kind of put pause for caution. Go, okay, is he playing just to check the box or what? Because you got to play it eventually. Other than that, these guys are here. They're not. They can just take off, right? Brooks, you saw what he did. I think it was after the Masters. Just took off, right? Why is he going? He doesn't have to play. He's got all the money in the world. Apparently, he's going to top 5 every major until he retires. So I don't really see why he wouldn't play. But that doesn't mean he's a great DK player per se. That's just my thoughts. The nice thing is for us, we do get a nice break in between here and the British. It seems like we've been bam, bam, bam with these tournaments, big tournaments too, mixed in with the majors, WGCs, Arnie, the Memorial, TPC, TPC right before the Masters. Now you kind of get a decent break, 5 tournaments. But for like guys like us, this is when, we start rolling up our sleeves for football, prepping that, laying out content, figuring out how we're going to do that. College football we assume is going to be back. So a lot of stuff going on in the background, but I think this is a good time of the year, to finish strong, right? Especially in golf. You got some solid tournaments coming up, leading in the British Open before football really takes your attention away. So I'm looking forward to it. For me, I got the point system this week around 550 to 575. If you're new, what does that mean? Means on a basis that I use 600 kind of average, but so 550 I take, so it's a 50,000 salary for your team, right? That means on a 550 point week, every dollar I spend per guy is a 0.01 one factor. And so if I spend $10,000, I expect that guy to give me 110 points based on a 550 base this week. So if I think it's going to be a 650 base this week, then that changes my math, right? Because it's higher scoring. I need that guy to do better. That's how I do it. That means right, wrong. I've kind of started talking about the last 3 or 4 weeks, and guys want me to go a little more deep in that. That's what that means. That's how I do it. There's a lot of factors to determine. I look at our GC Cup from last year. I look at tournament scoring, tournament average, weather conditions at the tournaments. Was there anything odd? I mean, there's about 4, 5, 6 things I factor into where field strength. I think this year is a lot stronger than it has been. So I'm mainly even closer to like 575. What does that mean? It means, on average, if the field strength's up, call it, 2 percentage spots or 20 basis points, then I think even the low guys are stronger than what the low guys were last year. So the scoring will be a little bit better, yada, yada, yada. I won't bore you guys to death with that, but that's how it gets to. Quick shots and Nagel's Bagels, our boy. I was doing my research like I always do last night. He won the Nicholas last year this week. So that's awesome. Go check out his Periscope on Twitter. Wednesday nights, right before our E9. I think his Twitter handle is just at Nagel's Bagels. If not, you can see where we retweet it. If you type in Nagel's Bagels, you'll find him. Great listen there. Good support of the community. Great guy. Cool to see he won last year. It's kind of weird seeing all these names now that we've been doing this for a while. You know who they are. Here's the interesting know of the week for me before we get into the key stats and the good stuff you guys are here for. I got smoked here last year. Killed. Actually, I believe my worst week of the year. This was in the middle of me negotiating my contract, and so I'm looking for a new job. I mean, there's a lot of stress going on. It's no excuse, but it was a crazy time for me a year ago. I made the right move though. Friday, I told the community I took a promotion to director of finance and operations at my company now. So that's good for my family. But yeah, I lost my ass last year. I lost 90% of my weekly bankroll, which was one of my worst, if not the worst of the season. Why does that matter? Who gives a fuck? Here's why it matters. This is what we preach from day one. Trust the process, right? So I lose my ass 90%. And it really wasn't on a good streak going into that. I mean, I wasn't doing great. I mean, I went back like 4. I mean, it wasn't like everything's cooking and rolling and just, run the ranks and out and go. And I just happen to know this because I have it marked on my calendar because it was life-changing for me. The next 3 weeks after this week started my fantasy career so far, hopefully so far, where I won over $330,000 the 3 weeks after this tournament. And the whole point of that is not bragging. Everybody knows that now by now. It's trusting the process. That's why we preach what we preach. I mean, you think if I had changed shit up after I lost 9%, I would have won that? No, I stuck with the same shit. Got up on Monday, rolled the sleeves up, got ready for the John Deere, won over 6K or over 6 figures. Go back next week, win like 80,000. Go back next week, win another almost 200,000. So you never know when it's going to get hot. Now you got to evaluate yourself. You got to think about what you're doing. You can't just think it's all right. Like if you're losing your ass, there's a reason, right? So you got to figure out, where am I going wrong? Where am I going right? How did I lose this week? People don't do that enough. We preach it, in the process that I wrote. It's like a 90 or 20, crazy, more than I've ever written since my master's program paper I wrote on the website. I just call it the process, actually. Ultimately, you don't want to change your process. You got to trust it, but you got to understand it, right? So this week, if I made a decision to fade Brooks, whatever reason, and he wins, that wasn't a process error. I mean, why did I fade him? Well, or last week, look at it. If I made a decision to fade, Rory and he wins, Tiger and he wins, Webb and he wins, is that a bad process? No. Webb was going to be one of the highest owned guys, if not the highest. I didn't want to play him. So if he wins, I'm not going to say, oh, I fucking suck. Made a decision. I moved. You got to move on to that, right? If you're doing all these things, right, you think, man, and you're over that far left of the DK where it's like, DFL every single, then we may need to talk. Let's have a little chat and figure that out. But if you're in the ball game, I mean, I was talking to JB before the podcast saying he literally went from break even to losing virtually almost everything he put in this week on the last Woodland Eagle or last Woodland Birdie. The last birdie by him on Brooks having to go for eagle and finish him with par, and Woodland making just a, stone cold nut birdie on 18 cost me those two things. When Brooks was on 18T, from the time that those things happened, the only thing that really changed in Showdown Sunday. Cost me like $2,300 in Showdown. Does that mean my process sucks? No, that's just golf, right? It just happens. It's just crazy. If Brooks is tied or leading, he doesn't get aggressive there. He probably, I don't know if he'll lay up, but I guarantee he's gonna make sure he makes birdie on 18. And then now, what if Williams got to come in? He's got to make a par or a bogey. He can't make one mistake, or he's out or could lose it. A lot more pressure on that tee box. Tighten her up. So those are things you can't control. That's why I tell people, don't get caught up in that. I mean, get mad if you want, whatever. Go have a drink. Don't get caught up in that. Get caught up on you switching guys out at the last second, or not believing in what you see, which I did some of that last week. I loved Hovland. Loved him all week. Didn't play him in my 5 because it's a little tough. Do I want to get him in there? No, I'll wait. That was a bad mistake. He was high everywhere. I watched the kid play with my eyes. He did good here in 18. I got off of him. Now I played him in Showdown, won some money, got it back. I didn't let that treat me that way. I got with Brooks, got on Brooks, man. I didn't have Brooks at all, but I was on him. I was on him on the weekends. I was all there, right? I was 70% on him Sunday. I said, Brooks gonna make a run. I also said DJ gonna make a run. That didn't work out. Faded Rose. I said, well, Woodland was just kind of he was putting great, but he was also playing great. Rose was just putting great, scrambling and putting. I was like, if that didn't happen on Sunday, this dude's gonna blow up. That's what he did, right? So trust your process. For me this week, pretty simple week. Approach. I am going to put some more emphasis off the tee, just in general. Not crazy, but I didn't look at it too much all last week. I do think it may give an advantage this week a little bit, so I'm going to bring it in. Ball striking approach is it's just it's like a FOMO bet, like Neiman or Ryan Armour, right? Those are going to be in there some way, shape, or form. I'm going to look at par 5. I went and looked at every segment of the last 5 years. Missed the cut, made the cut, top 20, top 10, top 5 winner. That percentage, you look at all those groupings, the better that grouping gets, the better their par 5 scoring got every single time. Every single time. So it tells me par 5 scoring matters here. There's only 2 of them, I get it, but I'm bringing it in. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look at around the green again, right? I don't really look at the short game stat or whatever. I think it's the one that brings in. What's the difference? People ask what's the difference to that. Short game stat. Short game includes putting. So it obviously matters. So it could be up and down putting. I mean, it's factored into it. Around the green is anything inside 30 yards, right? That's how it's looking at that. Doesn't include putting, right? So I'm gonna look at around the green, see how guys do there, small, and then I have my Gups secret sauce that I have every week factored in there. So limited them down my options this week. I narrowed down. I think you gotta be a good all around player, kind of like last week, kind of like last couple weeks, right? I think you gotta have a tool set. You gotta have a good tool chest this week. A lot of tools in your chest. I don't think one certain guy can win it. You look at the history of the guys that have won it. They're not all the same type of guy. Jordan's won it. Russell Knox has won it. Kevin Stroman's won it. Guy named Bubba's won it twice. I mean, all different kind of players. So I think it's an all-around game. That's what I'm going to look at. I'm going to spend a little bit of time getting into this because it's just me. But, so I'm doing the Dirty Dozen. Rubio, his article's out tomorrow. Tambo's going to fill in for Bucks on the playbook. I'll post that hopefully tomorrow night. And we'll have my deep dive will be out tomorrow. Gups final thoughts, all that Wednesday. We'll be ready to go. Dirty Dozen, 4 sets here, 3 picks of each tier, 12 guys. And then I'll have a round table kind of with myself. We'll see how that works out. 9K and above. Who do I like? How do you not like Paul Casey this week? Assume him to be chalky. He's got a second, a fifth, a 17, a second here. Played great last week. Finished strong on Sunday. Really helped my bankroll Sunday. Him and Simpson really helped me a lot. And Tiger's last 6 holes helped me. If DJ could have stepped up a little bit, and then Scott, Scott would have not. I mean, Scott played great. Don't get me wrong, but if he could have really made a run, that would have really been huge for me. As Reeve played him, he did well. But Casey played well. I mean, he's actually number one tournament history here from even though he had one, even over Bubba because he's more consistent. 13th in the stat model, 19th recent form, 8th in rolling stat. I mean, Casey's. I assume he's gonna be chalk. We'll see how that goes. I'm not saying I'm gonna be on him, but just right out the gate Monday night. I like Casey. Gotta be big on this week. I'm all in. Probably gonna bet it. We'll see. Bryson. I like where he's coming. T22 at Memorial, T35 last week. Real quiet last week. I don't know if you saw him on TV. I didn't see much. Likes his place. This is fourth time he's shot. He's got 47th at 26 and 9th. Stats for what I'm looking at, he's top 20. Tournament history, top 15. Rolling stats, 28. He's average for what I looked at. So, I mean, he's 9,200, so he's a little high, but he's right there where, he's not too expensive in this field for what his talent is. So I love Bryson this week. I'm in. Last spot's kind of crazy. I don't know what to do with Cantley and Brooks this week. Like I said earlier, Brooks won Shinnecock last year, came and played this, got T19. He has a T9 here in 2016, then a T51 in 2014. So he's just played the even years up until now. Now he's in here. Surprised he's playing, but I mean, maybe he just wants to keep it rolling. He didn't play a lot, right? He took Charles Schwab Memorial off after the PGA. I don't know what his schedule is going to be leading up to the Open, but hard not to play him. He's the highest on the board. Maybe that, I don't know. So maybe I put Brooks Cantley here as a combo because I want to see how the ownership splits out there. I may just go lowest owner out of those two. I have a piece of. I like them both. Both are equally same kind of motivation, I think. This week, per se, I don't think Cantley's chomping at the bit to win the Travelers, but I mean, he's still a young pup. He's still getting his feet. I mean, I think he wants to win. They're 1-2 in my model. Cantley slightly better putting splits than Brooks, but Cantley a third, a first, a 21st last week. Turned it on Sunday, have a pretty good round, a pretty good tourney. I like both those guys above here. Kind of let ownership and industry drive me there. I'll update that as we get closer to Wednesday. Next set is 7,600 to 8,900. Who I will assume based on this betting price is going to be super chalky. I didn't realize that because I did some of this last night. Now the betting prices come out, and so I made flip on another guy I mentioned earlier. But Hovland, obviously, I love him. I like 7,900. I was like, oh, let me keep him down. Now he's been bet down to 50 to 1. Are you kidding me? 50 to 1? I mean, he's got guys, Kokrak. I'm going to be able to talk about him a little bit. Kokrak, whatever. Is 60 to 1. This is a guy that's been hot fire this year. Decent track record here. Missed the cut last year. Before that, made the cut every time. Strong iron game. And you got Hovland better odds than that. We'll see, but I think we're gonna have a bunch of potential. Fit them when you can. Hovland, Morikawa, and Matthew Wolff. Shit, you probably have people try to get all of them in the same team. Wouldn't doubt that. Not that it's a fade those this week. Could be, could not be. Betting wise, I will. My free bet of the week is Morikawa. I will take Morikawa at 125 all day over Hovland at 50. I mean, I think Hovland's better long term, but he's not 75 points better. Second guy I like here, Griot. I think I know Bucks put him in his article this morning. I like him too. He's number 5 overall in my model. T19 last year, T43. Pretty good form. Faltered Sunday, maybe Saturday, Sunday. A weekend for sure. Wasn't great for him last week, but he struggles around the green some. Rest of his stats pretty solid. 7,900 seems cheap for him, especially in this field. So you get Hovland and Griot, same price. Seems a little odd. Pivot for me there, probably. Knox, 7,700. Like him. He won this in 2016. T62's T38 after that. Pretty good form. He missed the cut at the PGA, but that's, you know what the PGA was. T8 at Charles Schwab and T27 at Memorial. Had the last couple of weeks off. Top 10 in my overall stat model. Top 24 in recent form. Putting worries me a little bit here with him. That 7,700, that the mid-7, low-8, mid-7 range is pretty stacked with some interesting plays. I mean, interesting to see where the community goes there. You got Binion, 78, Keegan, just F me, Bradley, 77. I get him about 1 every 4 tournaments, right? Knox, 75, Henley, 75. I already mentioned Griot and Hovland. I mean, so it's going to be interesting to kind of see where the ownership splits up there. Ryan Moore, 78. I don't mind him. Hadwin, 76. Don't mind him. I mean, so that's a loaded zone. 75 or less, my number one guy in this range right now is Matthew Hughes. I can't figure out why. Great form coming in. He got 8th at Charles Schwab, 14th at the RBC. Made the cut here twice, T17 and T17, 2017. I do know I think he's won the other Pete Dye, the RBC Heritage. I think Hughes may have won that or done well there at least. I have him circled at 150 to 1 betting wise. We get to him a little bit, but he is with Sebastian Munoz. So Munoz only has 8 rounds in my model of what I'm looking at. So I although he's technically rated higher, I would rate Hughes higher because I got 19 rounds I'm looking at out of a max 24. Hughes is a guy I'm looking at this week to be, I think I'm going to be on him. I assume he's not going to talk about much, unless that shocks me. Just mentioned Henley. I like Henley this week a lot. I liked him going in to the RBC. He missed the cut. I don't know how many people really burned there. He's got T11 and a T6 here. Putts well in these splits. For that price, around this chalky area, I could like Henley. I could get on Henley. My last guy, 6,800. Pretty high on this week. He's my highest plus minus at a plus minus 59 inside my top 20. Sam Ryder, 6th in my stat model. You got T57 at the Memorial. T26 last year, though, so he knows the course, played it. Putting splits aren't great, but, being that he did well last year, I don't want to say ignore it, but really like his stats and what I looked at. And the tournaments they correlate to. 250 to 1 guy there if you're on the betting side of that. Really like Ryder. 4th tier, if you don't know, is 1 flop, a guy we just don't think will return value. 1 fade, so this would be a guy that could be great, or you just pivot him either you don't like him or ownership, projected ownership, or whatever. Doesn't mean you don't hate him. It's just a fade for you, kind of like a pivot. And then 1 sleeper, 6,900 or less. My flop of the tournament's going to be Phil Mickelson. I don't even know why he's here. It wouldn't shock me if they said he was out, but I don't know. I don't get that. He's down in my model. I just don't. There's none about him I like this week here. Snedeker was right close to there too. At 8,600. I don't really. Snedeker he's horrific in my stat model, but he's got great course history. So it's kind of a model recent versus course history fit deal. He's kind of outlier. So I kept him kind of alive because he's top 30. But so I went with Mickelson. My fade, I was going to say either Brooks or Cantley, but I thought it was kind of a cop out. So I'm going to go with Jason Day. Played good at the end of the tournament there. T12 here last year, T18 in 2014. He's the cheapest of the big guys, so maybe could get some love that way. People trying to save money. But he's not very good in the stat model either for me. So I'm going to fade Day. I assume he's going to keep Stevie on the bag. I think that was a long-term deal. I don't know if there's just some majors or what. I didn't pay too much attention, but that'll be interesting to get into. So I'm on Day. Spieth was close, but he's so high this week in my model. I was like, he's 1 here. 10-7. Is everybody going to him now? Molly, what they do there, once you drop between Brooks and Cantley, you get those are going to be interesting plays or pivots or hear what the industry does. So I left them off for now. I'm just going to fade Day. My sleeper was Ryder, but I feel like that's a cop out too, especially with just me on the pod. So I'm going to go with another guy I mentioned tonight, Morikawa. He's not going to pop. He just doesn't have a lot of data, kind of like Hovland. But I like the kid. Was on him. I had him in my country club last night, $1,500 deal. That's how much that kind of went in with him. Great kid, good talent. Didn't really he made a ton. Go back and look at his scorecard. Ton of birdies. Just made a lot of bogeys. So score, right? DK. Think of DK. We're playing a game here. Don't forget that. A game. I don't know how his length is off the tee. He didn't seem real long. Not like Holland and Wolf. Wolf's going to pound it. If you have never seen Wolf, you're going to be impressed this week. And this is a short course. So for this week, I like Morikawa again. I don't mind Wolf or Hovland either. Interested to see the ownership on that. How many guys 7,300 without making his debut? Like Matthew Wolf is more than Joel Dahman. Not that Dahman's high on my list week or anything, but just some strong, and that's got to be because of the betting market. And you can, if you don't know, I'm sure DK obviously takes the betting market. He's 60-1 in the betting market. Otherwise, he would be low in the DK algorithm. They're not doing any work there at DK figuring out the prices. They're just looking at course history, recent form, betting market, more betting. He's 7,300. Obviously, not very hard to go. Wolf, Morikawa, and Hovland. And then I don't know how much you have left after all that, but you have quite a bit. So this may be a week where I go to guys like, I'll get to the roundtable here in a second, but I guess I'm there. I'm not going to do rapid fire with myself. That'd be kind of funny. But so roundtable, other guys I thought, it's a week where like, if everybody's going to load up on those three boys, like Seb Straka playing great, finished great last week. Dylan Fratelli, 7,100. Benny On, like I already said. Jason Kokrak. these guys that are proven talent. Neiman, he's my boy. I would say probably have a FOMO bet, but playing great, coming in form, right? T31, T31 last three tournaments. Stat guy, he's here. This course fits him. He hasn't played it yet. This is the first time to play it, but these guys I know been on the tour. They know the grind. They're not that kind of nervous. They're going to be sub 5% when those three studs are going to be like 10, 12% each. I love those three guys. Don't get me wrong. But I don't mind taking chances on these guys I know about if everybody's going to load up that way. Because then I just take those three guys. I can load up on top. So I can take these guys nobody wants to be on. And I can take a lot of Brooks, a lot of Cantley, Speed, whoever, right? Doesn't matter because I'm taking the three hot, pups. Don't fade. It's tough because I love them. I'm going to be on them too like anybody else. But that's going to be interesting come Wednesday. It'll be a big topic in the chat Wednesday, I know. We'll see how that works out when we get there. Reevy, he's a guy I like this week, 8,400. I think that price is a little low for him, really, coming off the T3 last week. Got good course history here. Spieth, I already mentioned. Talked about him. Leishman, I like a lot, 9,100. I like DeChambeau right there, too. Could start a lineup there. Leishman, DeChambeau, and go, right? I don't mind that. Take those two and run. Molinari, what is ever going to be on him this week? I don't know. Hadn't played since 2016 here. He's going to look great in stat model. He's 9th in mine. Good history. Good tournament last week. Finished 16th. So I think he could be popular. So that's why I'm not on him yet. He's one to keep an eye on. Finau, has everybody just forgot Finau? He's just what is he now? Just nobody. I can imagine. At $9,000, not going to get looked at a lot. 2 missed cuts. But he likes this place. T25, T25, T17. Be high price compared to where everybody wants to be. Putt's great on the splits. Rolling stats. I like Finau. I'll get on him 9,000 if no one's going to be on him. Talk about Kokrak, talk about Straka, talked about Fratelli, and then on a little bit, like on. All those guys kind of round up guys that all right there. Could go under the radar, especially being paired with these hot boys. These I don't know they got a nickname yet, but the freshmen, the phenoms, or whatever they were going to go with them. But Ryan Moore, 7,800. He's going to be right there. Bubba, I don't know what to do with Bubba. I assume everybody, I guess he was almost just my fade of ownership. Can't beat the course history. No Bubba tracks. Missed a cut last week. That's pretty easy to see coming. T63 at the RBC. Missed a cut at PGA. It's not the best form coming in. Actually, one of the worst compared to what I look at. But stat wise, he likes this place. He's good there. Putts, he doesn't really splits well, but he likes the course, right? So that 8,900 just looks too cheap for me. I assume he's gonna be Uber owned. I'd go to Louis off of that Usti or just somewhere else up the board. I'd go up to Bubba if Bubba's gonna be 20% or whatever. I don't need Bubba. $40-1 or shorter. I don't really have much. DeChambeau's on my short list if I decide to go there because the 45 to 75 is loaded with some good value. Got some sprinkles down low I like. I hadn't decided. I hadn't made a bet yet. I will be betting Morikawa at 125. So that was my freebie. But the only two low guys would be Casey and DeChambeau. That's really the only two I would look at. Don't know if I'm going to go either one of them. 45 to 75, there's a load of guys here I love, which, it's kind of correlated to DraftKings, right? It's pretty easy you have to be a rocket science or math lover to realize that that's how that correlates. But Reeve, Griot, Moore, Kokrak, Knox, Binion, Neiman, all 45 to 75 that all in my wheelhouse. I could load up on like 5 or 6 of those and call it a day and be fine. But I don't know where I'm going to go yet. You're looking at some more research probably tomorrow on obviously, anniversary night, watch the show or something with my wife, who's been very patient with me this weekend. I've done a lot of US Open coverage. Had no coverage tonight. So obviously when it's your company and you own it, sometimes you just got to step up and do what you got to do. So I'm here. And she gets it. I love her. She's the best. Long odds for me, there's one guy I got circled down. My dark horse odds, I got a lot, but the one guy that kind of stands out to me, I don't know if he's going to be, which I like him DraftKings too. Bubble-ish area. T6 here last year. Never missed a cut here since 2014 when he's played. Made 4 straight cuts on the PGA Tour. Kind of rolling back in, to where he's been in the past. Is Kevin Tway. Like him a lot this week. Another Oklahoma State up there in, Edmond. He's from Edmond. Played with his dad before at their club. Not with him, but in the same tournament, a charity tournament. 10 years ago or so, and he was a baby then. It kind of seemed like that, but everybody knew. I knew him. He's in high. I followed his career in high school. Great kid, great family. But I like him 100 to 1. The long shots, I already said Morikawa is a bet, so lock that in if you want the freebie of the week. I like Fratelli 150 to 1. I like Hughes. Talked about him to start the pot off 150 to 1. Nick Taylor just seems like great value at 200 to 1. Doesn't have a great course history here, but great stats and pretty good form. So I got to look into that a little bit for maybe Nick a bet. Why didn't he play great here or something about it? Not like him. Probably playing better in his career than he has played. So he's like a Kokrak earlier in the year. Like, you got to factor that in. Like, if he sucked, he just sucked everywhere. Then I don't know if I'll look at the 3 missed cuts here or is that big of a deal. But if he plays good and then doesn't like this course, and even the 200 doesn't sound right. And Sam Ryder, obviously talked about him a lot, all on him. I'll be pretty close to a bet for me for sure. Obviously, FOMOs are going to be Neiman probably, and Ryan Armour is in the field. Always love those guys when they're in the field. HV3 is getting close. He's kind of a FOMO to me just because of past history in my John Deere. He's probably the John Deere week last year. Dahmen, Burgoon, HV3, Armour were all on my first John Deere squad. I believe that was it. That was the 4, and I figured the others 2 out. But, thankful for them for a while. One and done. Bucks had Henrik last year. Stinson last week. He had a 3.41 million. He got 289 from Stinson. I went with Sneds. Funny story there in a second for 21K. That gets me 7.01 million this one. Luckily, my best a little bit better in, and I think I have 8-point-something million. I got to make a run, though. Ruby at Speed, 24K, 3.95 million. If you guys didn't see this on Twitter, it's funny. Get a drink of water before I tell this story. This is probably I got worried about this one. At work Tuesday, my wife sends me a text. She's been doing her own line. I ain't helped her hardly at all. She'll ask me a couple questions. She'll listen to the pod, whatever. But it's getting down to the point, we're long in the year. So the people she's real familiar with, and she's more frequent with golf than probably the average wife, obviously being around of, football and golf, she's pretty good with because of me. As far as being the Gups corner, she embraces it. And as you get into those tough decisions, no different for us, right? We have to grind because we've already used all the good guys for the most part. She's like, who stays him? Screenshot the text and put it on Twitter. I actually tagged him in it. I was hoping he would catch on. If he'd have won it, I really would have tagged him in it. And I was like, no, I think my quote was actually, that's terrible. It's terrible playing. And she listed like a couple more. And I said, I kind of like Snedeker. I think I told her Snedeker, and there was another one. You were like 3. I never give her the one. I'll make her pick on her own, but it's just she went Snedeker. Like Friday, I was like, I think it was Friday or Saturday when he went really low. And I was like, oh man, I hope she really doesn't pay attention to the board. She walked by the screen once. She's like, did I say Usti second place? And I was like, oh boy. I was like, I really don't want to have to deal with the fact that I told her no. And if Usti wins this entire thing, you talk about doghouse. Funny deal, been funny, a long shot, especially if he'd got engaged with it on Twitter because he's such a good. I mean, he's done the funny video tweet, and that's how she knew. That's how she knew Usti was when he sang the song after he got the grand slam of the second place. I showed it to her right after that, and then she thought it was great. So funny deal on the one and done. Luckily, he kind of fell apart. He still murdered Sned, so it's still a bad call by me. So that's why you never. I mean, I don't call myself sharp or anything like that, but it's not just trust your gut. And I told her that. This week, Bucks phoned in or texted in. He's going with Griot for his one and done. Ruby's going with Paul Casey, and my one and done is Bryson DeChambeau. I think Bryson. He's gonna be right there in my final thoughts, top 5. Could predict him to win. Like him a lot this week. I think he's coming around. I want to be on the upswing with him. We saw how good he was, right? Last year, I don't remember what he got to, but we saw him in tournaments and win. Like he's proven, right? He's a closer. He's a little off, but I think he's trending upward. And I want to be on him before it's back to where we were in the fall when he was like, you couldn't bet him. He was like 10,000, whatever. So I think this is a week he may break back into that winner's circle. So really hard to pass up on that 25-1 number. I really don't go down that low in terms like this, but I think maybe on Bryson, 1 or 2 in the middle, then throws those flyers in at the bottom, and let's roll. Quick pod tonight, kind of on purpose. I got through everything. Obviously, when you're by yourself, I don't want to bore you guys. Hopefully, I was somewhat entertaining, kept it going. As always, join us Wednesday night in the chat room. 9:00 Eastern for the E9. If you don't know and you're a member in there, you go to chat up top, and there's drop-down links now. One's for the Slack, and I'll take you to our Slack room. The other one's for the online on-site chat, which is for Wednesday nights only. The reason I do that is because everybody can't be in there, and it's kind of I dedicate that whole time I'm in there, and this is a team. Obviously, with someone won't this week. And it allows people to go in and read it later because we can transcript it. And I post it right afterwards. We can't do that in Slack. So it allows guys maybe they have church or they work later, the West Coast, that, when they get ready to start building, then go read that transcript, kind of read the final thoughts also, and then kind of they don't feel like they missed out. So that's why we've kept that package up. Our provider for that is up this summer. Actually, I think next month. So we're going to look into that, see if we want to keep paying for it. Can't remember the price, but I'll get with the team and see if they feel it's worth it still to provide that. If you have feedback, send me a DM on that. Maybe we can figure something out with Slack and just X that whole deal. It may be worth the money to keep those transcripts every week. I don't know. We'll look at that. Especially if football comes around, we'll have a football chat. So maybe it's worth it. We'll figure that out. But send me feedback there if you want. As I said, join gupscorner.com now if you're not a member. Before you do that, if you're not, I would listen to Kenny Kim and Tambo's podcast this week because there is a only place you'll find special announcement that Tambo is going to roll out tonight. I went ahead and saved it for them, let them pump it out. They're brothers of ours. We're big fans of everybody in the industry. We don't hate on nobody, but I do have a little something on that in my final thoughts as well. Get you through the Open, which is awesome. So you get 5 tournaments this week. 3 more tournaments, and then the Open, Wednesday of the Open for $14.99 a month, $119.99 a year, full 365 days of content. It's not till the end of this season. It's if you join today, you're good through June 17th, 2020. $120, $10 a month. You start break down by week. I mean, it pays for itself quick like. There is a $4.99 weekly option if you're just bankroll. I mean, if your bankrolls at a certain level, you just want to try it out, see if it's even worth it. I don't really like that option, but I'm leaving it up there because I know people get intimidated, they get nervous, and I don't. There's twice others. One said, "Man, we teach a process. You got to be about the whole process. So why would you do 1 week?" The other flip side is I'm not scared of 1 week process for us for anybody. I believe so much in what we do, and so much in our Slack. And as soon as people get in there, I have yet to see anybody, not one person. And we have high retention right now. And I come from a business background, big business, all about retention rate, turnover rate, all that stuff. As high as I've seen. And I know it's a different industry and all that, but and the reason being, I think you get in there And I'm like, well, if they just want to try it for a week, they're gonna upgrade quickly, probably within 2 days. And I don't know, JB would know it because I wear him out with. We're having, upgrade. I mean, and it's luckily the way we have it set up. Everything we do is first class on the site. I invested money to have a well-run site, well-run products, great people around us. Anything I've ever done has never been cheap. There's good ways to go about it, but t-shirts, we're not going to do them cheap. We're not going to make a lot of money on them. I don't even know if we may have just got into the profit, but I can guarantee you for all the profit we may have made on shirts, go ask the community, go ask the Slack how much money we've given away in the first 3 majors. Way more profit than we made on shirts. We're not about making money. Now we got to, we're a business, right? You want to make bottom line, that's all about, but we're about family, community, giving back. We want to be in the position to grow this thing, provide baseball, basketball, hockey. I have people wanting to provide that for y'all, but it takes capital. It takes time. I'm kind of bleeding in the final thoughts. I haven't figured that out. It takes effort. And by me, and I can't do it all. I have a full-time career who, pays me really, really well. And so I only do this at nights and weekends, which means it takes away from my family. I have people in with me right now, that help, but I need, industry leaders in those day-to-day stuff, guys that are in special situations. They can do that every day, baseball, basketball, but I gotta have capital to pay them, right? I gotta have to add on to the site. I gotta let Melinda do her thing. She's best at the business at the site design and the stuff she adds on the contest site. And at right now, still the majority, 80% of our people got in at $6.99 a month, $69 a year. I don't have the capital to do that stuff. So that's why I believe in building this foundation. That's why I've always been. We're putting back capital. We're trying to. We have no debt. We've paid all the debt off that I put up personally, and another partner. For the first 18 months we ran this thing free. People forget about that. We didn't charge nothing, and we built everything out of my hard-earned money, my partner's hard-earned money. We paid that back, and that's it. We don't make a lot of money off this. We give back. We donate. Donate all the time. Donated. It bleeds in the community. Community this weekend. I gave away. I don't know how many. I get late at night and I'm all fired up. JB's got to reel me in. He wakes up next morning. He's like, "Geez, how much money did you give away last night? Did you really give this much away?" Yep. Here's the list. I gave away 100. I bet we gave close to $1,000 last week, all in between shirts, memberships, DK money. All in. I know we didn't make $1,000 last week. So you got people out there negative. That's not, we're about to say we're not cash cow. We're trying to make contests, the sites bigger than what anybody else out there has as far as what we bring as a brand. And we do what no one else does. I don't compare ourselves to anybody because no one else does what we do. And I don't really care. We're trendsetters, right? You care less what my competition does. I have a lot of good friends that I talk to and they respect me. I respect them. That's what business is all about. I don't see them as enemies. I think we're different. We have a niche part in a niche industry. We're strong on football. People think we're a golf only. So I'm excited for football season because I think we're under the radar, which is great. I don't mind that. I play college football all the way up. I know things about football that the majority of people have no clue. These guys are, pencil pushers or whatever and never put a pad on in their life. Now, does that mean they suck? No, they're probably really good. They're probably finance guys. Oh yeah, I'm a finance guy too. We have a pretty damn good football team. Bucks won Wildcat last year, $250,000. Tambo's won hundreds of thousands. Been on the beach last 2 years. Football's not my strong. 2 years ago it was. Last year, obviously, nothing was going to be golf, but I never really got all in on football because I've been so dedicated to the brand and building the stuff up. But this year I'm back. I'm ready for football. I know football. I'm got a special deal I'm going to do. Got to announce a little bit later. We're getting into some of this other stuff going on too. Best ball. Got a lot of things to offer coming up, but I need you guys to spread the word, help us out, right? And that's why I don't mind the $4.99 options. If someone gets in with us, I don't mind that. They're not going to stay there long. They're going to commit. I know that. I believe enough in our product. I know that what we sell, everyone's like, man, this is awesome. What I don't want to do is have to start thinking about, okay, do I do a side package? How do I pay for a guy that's going to give me 300 days or 200 days of baseball, 200 days of basketball? I got to add on to the side. I got to add on, how am I pay for all that for something I don't even know it's really going to return? Because most people in there now are just getting it free because we're an all-inclusive right now. I don't have to think about splitting things out, but I got demand for it now. So I'm like, all right, if we just build the foundation up to a certain level, it'll pay for itself. So that's where building this community really helps. We're not going to be charging by sport, by season. It's just not what I want to do. I never want to believe in that. Build a community. It's all for one for all. So, we got a lot of decisions we're making this summer. Your feedback there on that last thing, all these daily sports and how we interact that. I love feedback. If you guys don't think I respond to everybody, but you can email me. My email is on the deal. You can DM me anytime you want. I love it. I share it with the team. It really helps us because we want to do what you guys want, right? It's in a dictatorship. So give us feedback on that. How would you handle the daily if you ran the show? Knowing that's not been our motto. I mean, our model so far, for football, because it's kind of daily, but it's not baseball, basketball, hockey. I got guys right now for all those sports. They're 100% committed for whatever reason or another. I'm not getting their personal life, can do it, but I just don't want to pull a trigger on it until I know what's the best option there. We got people pounding our doors to join the team. So I'm not worried about that part of it. I'm worried about how do I financially make sense of it to what our model was originally. We're going to give you football. We're going to give you college football, which will be phenomenal. I got one of the top 3 guys I respect in the college football community. I love college football. I'm great as well, but I can't dedicate to it because we're going to have a big, extensive part into fall swing this year. We're going to be introducing some new stuff, new piloting things, and the new guys coming on tour. That's what I'm really going to dive into that. So Bobby Berger is Adon and Bobby are the 2 sharpest college football guys I know when it comes to DFS. I know there's others, but I personally know them. I know the way they think and walk, and they both have won the big $200. They both made the event. Well, I think they both were in the main event last year. I respect both of them. Adon's a good friend of mine as well. I'd have him on any time. Bobby's going to head up to college football, so I'm going to be in the back, be providing stuff. I bet it. I'm going to give the betting out, but he's going to run the DFS side of it. We may do a short pod every week, Friday night or something. We'll figure that out, but we're going to be low. I mean, this place is just now growing. We're in the infancy stage. I'm excited about it. Kind of wraps up the night of, I got a nice promotion Friday. It was great. We had a great weekend, a great week for Gups Corner. We had a record day Tuesday for signups since the birdie special, the $4.99 or $6.99 deal. And I was shocked. I mean, I was truly full of emotions with last week. It's just when you start something from scratch yourself in a corner. That's why the Gups Corner. I was in a little, I have my corner office at home, and it's just kind of always had this corner theme. 4 years ago, and you start sketching it out, and how can I do this? How can I do that? It's a dream on paper, and then 4 years later, you build it to what it is now, and it's not even close to where it can be. Like, I didn't think we'd get here for another 2 years. And you're passionate about it. You're humble. Stay humble. You put all your hard work into it. You're ethical about it. Your integrity is sharp. And you got to be blessed, right? We all got to be blessed. I'm blessed. My wife's blessed. It's not all us. If you think that, then I don't want to get religion like that, but you got to be blessed in some fashion to have things work your way, and they have for us. When you do that and you get the right people around you, anything can happen. And we're proving that at Gups Corner. And we're not none of the big boys. We don't have none of the big, 40,000, 50,000 people subscribing, but what we got's a special deal. And football is going to be amazing. This next few weeks is going to be awesome. We'll relive some of the big wins last year for me. 1 year anniversary of it, John Deere. It's going to be fun talking about it, but it's, it is what it is. More excited about the major, and I'm really, really excited about the football season. Fall swing is going to be great. We're going to be all in on it, covering it, getting you backgrounds on guys, detailed, getting you ready, prep for the next season. Spread the word. Tell 2-3 friends for us. Let us, tell them now's the time. Tell them to go check out the Fantasy DJ pod, and they'll get what'll be a one-time offer this week. Goes away. I'll just tell you that right now. I'm not going to go in details. You got to go listen to it. Go tell them. Say, hey, are you listening to it? If you already listened to it, say, here's what they heard on the pod. Here's their deal. Go buy it now. Support the cause. You won't regret it. If I can do anything for you guys, let me know. Looking forward to Wednesday night. Bucks will be back next week. Ruby will be back. The whole crew. I'll be in all week this week. I'm here every week. Got everything going. Rankings and stuff for me will be out a little later tonight. I got them, almost got them done. I'll button them up, get them out. If not, first thing in the morning, just bear with me there on anniversary night. I'm gonna try to get them out tonight. You guys have a blessed night, and we'll see you Wednesday night in E9. Have a good one.
Smash Factor.